Hey, welcome back to the Payco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith. We're in the Kern County Raceway Park segment. I want to start off real fast because I didn't mention it in the first segment that there was a late model race over in Las Vegas last Saturday. A lot of Bakersfield guys. A super stock race too. And Eric Richardson won that. Come out of semi-retirement, I guess. So he races a few races. He's got his car around.
I think they dusted that car off. It was the same car he won last year, only they had a rule infraction in post-race tech, which took the win away from him. But he brought that same car back, obviously with that suspension rule that was, anyway. But got the win this year.
Got the win, and he's got a new baby, so I think he a little time off to be a family person and stuff. And he won, and so. He's not going to be racing this weekend, but a lot of people are in the SRL Southwest Series race out there, including Derek Thorne here.
That's it. Let's go in circles. Let's get this thing on. Come on.
I think we're going to be pretty well represented with our local drivers, right, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, a large percentage of the field. You got your reigning late model champion, Buddy Shepard there, Lance Wilson, David Mayhew, Johnny White, Derek Thorne. I'm up through there. I mean, we got
who else is on the Derek Thorne? Yep, that's it. David Mayhew. David Mayhew. Doesn't he ride bicycles now or something?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I think he's going to run a rookie stripe this weekend is what I was told.
It's been so long since he's been on the track.
Yeah,
he's been up
so.
there doing the mountain biking in Mammoth. I think he's been doing he did a century on a road bike, so good for David.
Well, don't forget, David Mayhew does hold the record for the most laps led of all time at Kern County Raceway, so don't count him out.
Yeah,
That's
I think
pretty good.
maybe we shouldn't count out David
Pretty good
Mayhew.
stat.
Yeah.
So, most laps led. Who's got the most wins?
At Kern County Raceway?
Yeah.
That's easy. It's David Mayhew.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Derek Thorne didn't start winning until 2015.
Do I even have any wins at Kern County Raceway Park?
He got a couple. But they were a long time coming, brother. Long time coming.
And that's a Fast 43 car we've got up there. If I show that slide there
Yeah.
of Mr. Thorne.
Oh, yeah. That thing looks good.
I was going to say that.
Looks good.
Looks fast. I don't know. I'm going to find out. But she looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
She looks the part. Hopefully she plays the part.
It's always good to look good.
Yeah, absolutely. Do even Mayhew even overshadows Shepard with the 10 wins he got this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, hold on to this slide here because this guy was supposed to be here, Johnny Chainsaw.
It's like, well, Johnny's got some tape on that girl right there, holding the fender together, some duct tape.
Yeah, he had actually had work to do today, so he couldn't come in.
He did.
And that's
He
too
did.
bad because I think Derek was ready to
I was, man. I haven't seen Johnny in a
spar
while.
with him a little bit.
Well, if he had to put in some work today so he could be there on Saturday, I'm all for that.
You're all for that. And this is Mr. Shepard in his SRL car, the late model champion.
Look at the focus in his eyes.
Is that focus in his
Oh,
eyes
yeah,
or the
he's just-
flashlight in it up
Yeah,
from
maybe,
Tom
maybe
Mock?
both. Maybe both. Maybe he's
Tom
blind.
Mock blinding him with the flash there,
Yeah.
but I tell you what, you get to see what they look like.
That's
Tom
from
shoots
is that
you.
from the that's from the showdown earlier this year?
Yeah.
Yes, that's from the showdown.
Yep.
Tom was out there and shot that. And there's Mr. Mayhew. That may have been his last race.
It probably was.
Yeah.
Probably was.
Yeah, so he's not here, so we can. And we talked about his brother, Eric. This is Brian Richardson. He's going to be racing.
Looks like he's in a
And-
recliner in there.
It's like a lazy boy. You ought to see
I
it.
think so. He's got a lazy boy back there. He's probably got He's probably got like 12 speakers in there. Just a great sound.
does
He
it
even
right.
picked up a little trash on the grill, too. A little downforce.
I was giving Steve some trouble here because if Brian had been on the show, we'd probably have like 6 boxes of peaches sitting behind
Yep.
right now. But no peaches,
My
no
bad.
Brian.
It's my bad.
So, 3rd annual KCRP.
Fall shootout this weekend. It's our final race of the year. It's a big one for us, and we have big 6 races throughout the season. 2 of those big 6 are, of course, are the Spears Southwest Tour races. One in the spring, and then we're just so proud to finish up the year with such a great touring series. And Brian can speak to how the points are starting to play out. Championship definitely not decided going into this next to the last race. Isn't that right, Brian?
No, absolutely not. And with the strong car count that we have, obviously Derek's leading the points, and he's been there before. He's 2-time series champion. So, but we got a bunch of young guns behind him. You got Christian McGee, you got Ryan Cansdale. I'm trying to think who else is sitting up there in the top 5 in points. And it's pretty tight. It's a pretty tight top 5. So with, like I said, close to 30 cars we're going to have this weekend, which is the largest car count ever at KCRP for the Spears Southwest Tour Series. I think we started 23 back in 2014 was the largest field prior to that. So should be a great weekend.
Now, the earlier race this year was kind of a split 150 lap race into 75 lap segments, and it was an MX type of format. And Mayhew won the first segment, followed by Derek, Parker Stevens, Christian McGee, and Ryan Cansdale. And then Cansdale won
Segment
the
two.
second segment, followed by McGee, Thorne, and Mayhew. And it was who finished higher in the second segment. So Derek Thorne edged out Mayhew for the overall win. In a kind of a strange format there, and you're not doing that this time.
I mean, we always like to try things differently, and I mean, it sounded great, and I mean, we was added a little bit element of strategy for guys, but we decided just make it simple this time. So we're going to run 75 laps, take a break. We have a $1,000 bonus. Whoever's leading, the driver leading at halfway, and then we'll take an 8-minute break. Let the guys service their cars, put fuel back in, and make minor adjustments, and go racing again for another 75 laps.
And that's not something we normally see with the Spears Southwest Tour Series. They may have a halfway break at these longer races to fuel, but the majority of the races, they don't get to touch the car. Doesn't go up on jacks. Nothing can happen. No adjustments made. You just add fuel, get back on the racetrack. Well, this Saturday night, they're going to be allowed to make adjustments and add fuel, which is really cool. And a $1,000 bonus for the leader at the halfway point. That's 20% of the total purse. You know, $5,000 going to win the Bulwark FR 150 presented by 5150 Energy Drink. And we got to thank His Works Gift Basket Company for that $1,000 to the halfway winner. So those first 75 going to be very important, $1,000 bonus, and you get to make some adjustments for the final 75. Derek, how does that make your team feel when you actually have an opportunity to make adjustments at the halfway point?
I like it, and it makes for a more exciting race for everybody's standpoint. You know, it doesn't take the margin of error from first to third or fourth is sometimes extremely small. So when you have a race that goes straight through with no adjustments allowed, you're kind of stuck with what you got, and it throws a whole nother level of team aspect into the races to where you may have a car that's capable of winning, but you're just a couple adjustments away, and the guy leading may over-adjust and go the wrong way, and the guy running third or fourth may adjust the right direction, and he's up your bumper, in no time. So it makes it exciting. At the same time, it's if you have a really good car, you don't want to see the halfway break. If you don't have a good car, that lap 75 break can't come soon enough.
How much does the track change between the first 75 laps and the last? Do the tires go away more, or is it more of the track just changing?
So a couple things go into it. You have your temperature changes a little bit of it. It gets a little bit cooler as the night goes on. The track rubbers up. As you get 30 cars on the track, laying down lap after lap. Rubbers as the track rubbers up, it loses grip. It's kind of backwards thinking. But then on top of that, you come in and you're putting all these heat cycles on your tires, and every time you let the tires cool completely off, your car changes the way it feels. Like you may have a loose race car, and every heat cycle you may change the car. It may go from a 1 tight to a 2 tight just over a heat cycle with no adjustments added. So you're adding a little level of, little, I guess, lottery or trying to predict the future. What's the car going to be like if we have 4 or 5 more cautions?
And that's the same thing. Every caution, every heat cycle. So in
Yeah.
the first 75 changes the way the car is going to handle
Definitely.
on the restart.
Yeah, especially when you come in and pits at 8 minutes, lets those tires cool completely off. Instead of when you're on the track under caution, they still maintain a little bit of heat, so it changes the dynamic a lot.
So you change or you don't change. It just
That's
depends.
tough. Leading at lap 75, if you got an okay car and you got guys behind you that are okay, knowing they're going to make some changes, is a tough position to be in.
Yeah, because you don't want to die yourself out.
Exactly. It's tough for a team, tough for a driver to decide, all right, where we at, how are we going to be, and what do we do to stay where we're at.
And when it restarts, it's going to be in the order that they finished, right? In the top 75, or are you going to invert?
There's going to be, I believe, there's going to be a small invert.
See, you guys are always
We
throwing
got the
stuff.
invert. I didn't know about that.
I had to ask
Come
that
on.
because I know there's always.
Well, I mean, we can't show all of our cards or invert cards early, but that's the reason why there's a $1,000 bonus there. So,
Yep.
we want there for an incentive for those guys to run hard those first 75. So, I would imagine that it may be a full invert or what have you at lap 75.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything like 10 or 12.
No. If
Full
we're
field.
going to do this, might as well do it right.
To the back.
To the back.
No,
No.
I don't foresee that.
No.
Yeah.
I'd keep it interesting.
I was a big fan of the split 75 and the kind of that motocross format. I thought it was cool. Coming from my background, just loving motocross racing and really seeing that kind of going into automobile racing, I thought it was cool. And then what it really did for me is I was focused on the race between Thorne and Mayhew for third and fourth. And my announcing partner, Jason Reed, was focused on the Cansdale-McGee battle going up front. So two young guns there, and then 2 veterans running for third and fourth for to see who's going to win the race. So we actually had a couple of different things going on. I really enjoyed it. Like Brian said, it was a little confusing, but it was exciting for the race fans.
Definitely different.
Well, I mean, if I look back at the course of our season, as far as the racing, take a snapshot, that battle between Derek and David for those, I don't know how many laps you guys raced side by
We'd
side.
race each other. I get by him, the caution come
exactly,
out.
yeah,
He'd have the outside, and he'd be good for 5 laps.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
So, and that's it. Is I know with the late models, you want to be up high to keep your momentum. Is it the same with the
It
tour
is.
cars?
You can make a guy's life very miserable if you have a car that's a little bit off and the guy behind you's better than you, but you can hold him off for a long time if he gives you the room on the bottom. He goes to the bottom and you hold him off up high. You can definitely take a guy that's faster than you and keep him behind you for a decent amount of time.
There's just that momentum thing then.
Current is very tough, and that's another part of the whole lap. So the 275 segments is, sometimes passing early is better because you got a little better tires, your car's handling better. You got to take advantage of the spots while you can, and then go into conserve mode when you can. And if you wait too long, towards the end of the race, and you got that guy that's really good, and you want to try to get by him, and sometimes you just don't have enough left to be able to complete the pass, even though you are a little bit faster than that guy.
Biggest field ever. Why do you think so, Brian? What's bringing these cars out?
You know what? I think the Winter Showdown has a lot to do with it, with that event, approaching its third year. I mean, the momentum, that we've gotten so far. I think some of these teams, look at the field. I looked at last week's qualifying at Vegas in the super late model. It was 0.3 between first and second in qualifying. Some of our,
tight.
some of our fields, top 12, top 13 are 0.3. So am I saying our field is so competitive, and those cars want to be competitive when it comes to Winter Showdown. I think that has a lot to do with it. New cars are being built. New guys are coming back in the series that haven't raced with us. I know, like Cole Cabrera ran a few years back, stepped away from the sport. Now he's built a brand new car. He's going to make his first start this weekend after, I think, 2 years he's been out of it. Zane Lovelace ran in our series for, I think, 3 years ago. He's building a brand new car to be at the Showdown, run with us next year. So you're seeing that excitement going back into short track racing with the Winter Showdown out here on the West Coast. I think it has a lot to do with it.
Dates for that?
February 9th through 11th this year. We've actually moved it up 2 weeks, so it's actually prior to Speed Weeks back east. We've also got a lot of cars that are definitely showing interest. Haven't got an entry in hand before we can announce some of those names, but pretty exciting. I talked with Todd Gilliland the other day, and him and his dad are both actually looking at coming back racing. It'd be kind of fun to get David to race with Todd. So, Joe Nemechek's reached out to us regarding his race team. So, like I said, we've gained a lot of interest on those East Coast teams coming out, as well as the Pacific Northwest.
That'll be a good day. Before that's coming up, we've got the race this weekend, and just real quickly, tell me about the Super Stocks, and then we'll get out of here.
Super Stocks Brown & Reich Petroleum Super Stock Showdown, second year that Brown & Reich has stepped up to sponsor this event. It's $1,000 to win, double what they'd normally make on a Saturday night. We're giving our drivers a little bit of extra downforce and some right side or left side weight. We're putting a spoiler on the NASCAR Super Stocks and really trying to open it up a little bit. And we've invited the Race Car Factory spec late models to race with them for that $1,000 to win. We think with the adjustments, it's an educated guess for us with the NASCAR Super Stocks that we're going to be very equal to those Race Car Factory spec late models. So it should be a large field of cars in there going for a pretty big payday for that division.
Okay.
So we're
Everything
excited.
starts at what time?
Gates will open at 4. We don't want any of the race fans to miss the Spear Southwest Tour Series qualifying, which will happen at 5. Gates at 4. Opening ceremonies at about 10 to 7. We're looking to throw the first green flag right at 7 o'clock. And don't forget, kids 10 and under, if you wear your costume, you're going to get in free. Tickets are $15, and we're going to have an on-track trick-or-treating during our autograph session.
Okay, so get out there this Saturday, last race of the season at KCRP, and then we'll see you next year.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
Okay,
Thank you, Mike.
thanks.
Thank you.